Hello everyone, in this video I'm gonna show you my Cinderace build. This build will allow Cinderace to deal the most amount of damage and offer great survivability. So first, I'll briefly go over the skill set I use and then provide further explanation. At level 7, I unlock the Pyro Ball. This ability has excellent range and damage, allowing Cinderace to deal damage from safety. Cooldown is extremely short at only 5 seconds, so you can use it many times in a fight. Next, at level 8, I unlock the Flame Charge. This ability allows Cinderace to constantly reposition in a fight or dodge enemy abilities. Flame Charge also has a 5-second cooldown, which allows Cinderace to be extremely mobile. Now I'll go further in depth on these abilities and how to use them effectively. Alright, so Pyro Ball allows Cinderace to shoot out a projectile in front, dealing damage to all enemies hit. It also leaves behind a burn effect that deals extra damage and reduces the enemy's attack and special attack by 5%. At level 11, hitting Pyro Ball will reduce Flame Charge cooldown by 2 seconds. The combo to use Pyro Ball is basic attack Pyro Ball and then basic attack to deal a quick burst of damage. Do note that Pyro Ball can only come out in front of Cinderace, so stuff like eject button and crush those X scissor can make you miss. When farming wild Pokemon, make sure to line them up and use Pyro Ball to hit multiple targets. A trick you can use to help with securing objective is to hold the Pyro Ball button to buffer the ability and let go when you're ready to last hit the objective. Take note of Pyro Ball's long range and try to use it to poke out the enemy before a fight begins. Next, Flame Charge is an ability that allows Cinderace to dash in any direction and deals damage to enemies hit. However, don't try to use Flame Charge to deal damage because the damage is very low, so try to use it to reposition yourself or dodge enemies' abilities instead. At level 13, Flame Charge will allow Cinderace's basic attack to slow the enemy, so you can easily chase or dash backward to kite. Flame Charge can go over walls to help with escape. There's a neat trick you can do with Cinderace Unite. You can hold the Unite button to slightly zoom out the camera to get more vision while heading towards a fight. This is especially important when attempting to walk into the Zapdos pit because you can see further ahead, see how many enemies there are. So now you have a good idea about the skill set, let's talk about the item build. First, it's the Muscle Band. This item provides attack and attack speed, which is perfect for a physical attacker like Cinderace to deal more damage. Muscle Band also helps deal bonus damage per basic attack, allowing Cinderace to kill objectives like Dreadnought, Rotom, and Zapdos very quickly. Next, it's the Scope Lens. This item offers crit rate and crit damage, essentially making Cinderace's basic attack do heavy burst damage whenever it critically strikes. Combining with the Muscle Band, Cinderace's basic attack will easily shred any Pokemon or objective in the game. The final item in the build is Buddy Barrier. This item offers a good amount of base HP and a shield to help with Cinderace's poor survivability. Without the Buddy Barrier, Cinderace will have a difficult time staying alive in teamfights, so it's a must-have item. Alright, the battle item I use is the Eject button. This item is a great panic button to quickly leave a fight when you have exhausted all your resource and unable to win the fight. Together with Flame Charge, the eject button will make it very difficult for the enemy to catch you. Now I'll showcase you some games in Master Rank and going over how to play Cinderace efficiently. Alright, so at the start of the game, just start your Ember and run towards the side that the Lillipup will position. If you are in the grassy area, the Lillipup always runs up, and if you're in the sandy area, it always runs downwards. After you kill a Lillipup, position for the buff that will spawn at 9:45. Simply kill it quickly as fast as you can and head towards the next buff. So my rotation here is I usually do a U-shape if we're clearing from top side down because I want to go top lane to gank as my first gank. Cinderace clear is extremely fast with the muscle band and the scope lens, so you should have no problem killing all the buffs and the core fish before 9:15ish. Once you're level 5, hit top. If the enemy is playing aggressive, then look to punish, but if they're playing safe, then it's okay because you're just here for the bees. Luckily, in this game, the enemy played extremely aggressive, trying to go for scores and dashing into me, so I was able to pick up 2 quick kills. But do note that majority of your games this won't happen, so just simply play for the bees and it'll be all good. If you do manage to get the score, however, you are in a very good lead, but don't forget to take the bees. As soon as you finish the bees, don't linger around the lane for too long. You want to recall immediately and go back to your jungle buffs because they have already spawned. Here, do note that if you are very close to level 6, getting both the buffs here will almost guarantee a level 7. If not, just simply grab one of the 2 core fish and you'll get level 7 pretty much 99 to 100% of your games. As soon as you hit level 7, head bottom for your second gank. Now that top lane has been stabilized from your first gank, you can now put a lot of your resource bot lane to potentially break the bottom goal, and you'll have a much easier time to get the Dreadnought when it spawns. Here you can go for the enemy's Aldino, or you can simply kill the enemy if they miss position, but here I'm just gonna go look for a poke. Do note that we have 3 people here and there's only 1 person on the goal defending for the enemy team, so it's a very easy kill. At level 7, do not hesitate to dive the enemy as long as your teammates are backing you up. Here you have 2 options before the bee spawn. 1, you can recall immediately, go back to your buffs that will be spawning very soon in about a couple seconds, or if you're late to that, then simply stay bottom for the 720 bees. Going for the buff is much better in most of the time just because you get more XP and it will pretty much put you much closer to level 9 than what the bees could have provided. Now that I'm level 9, I'm pretty much the strongest Pokemon in the game. Simply just head bottom again and play aggressive and punish the enemy if they walk up. Cinderace is practically the strongest Pokemon in terms of doing objectives early, so if the enemy gives you a window to start it, do not hesitate to get it. We have successfully secured the objective, and now we're level 10, and we got the kill on the Wiggly, meaning we have an option to pretty much just dive the enemy here, kill him, and potentially just score and break this goal. As soon as you break the goal, or if you decide to just recall, that's fine, just grab your buffs that will spawn very soon, or head top for the Rotom if it's still alive. Unfortunately, the enemy team has already gone the Rotom, but that's okay because now we're level 10, we can kill the Rotom extremely quickly and the enemy will not get too much value from it. So this is pretty much the mid game. In the mid game, you have a lot of free time, and the best way to use all that free time before the next objective spawn is to simply clear anything you see on the map, trying to get as strong as possible for the next spawn of the objective. If you see that the enemy is playing aggressive, simply just head over to the goal and just defend it however you can. At this point, do not hesitate to use your Unite because you can simply recharge it before the objective spawn. Here I used my Unite and was able to chase down about 2 more kills and grab a good amount of bees. Continue to farm until the next objective spawn. Majority of player here, I noticed that when they play Cinderace is that they simply forget to farm, or they just run around and practically lose out on a lot of experience or die in random team fights. So now I realize that my buff has spawned, I'm gonna leave the Crustle alone because killing the Crustle won't provide me too much experience as opposed to the buffs. The buffs will give me about 40 to 50% very easily and helps me scale much faster than just simply going for kills. So I went back, grabbed one buff. I realized I don't have the time to wait for the next buff spawn because the Dreadnought has already spawned. But that's okay because I can just run down here. Like I mentioned before, Cinderace does the objective extremely quickly. So as soon as you can get on top of it, just start it before the enemy even has a chance to react. There's a pretty quick easy fight. We're level 13, the enemy is like level 8, level 9. So at this point in the game, we are extremely far ahead just because we got 2 of the Dreadnought successfully. We did all of our ganks pretty well. And since the spawn timer for the buffs are desync, meaning the Dreadnought fell first and then the Rotom fell second, so you can simply go for the Dread and then still have time to come top for the Rotom. The enemy pretty much bum rush us here and they could not get the kill on us. Remember that surviving in the mid game is extremely important on Cinderace. If you can, try not to die because if you do end up dying, you will give a lot of experience back to the enemy team and that's how they will be able to catch up to you. Now it's just simply a farm game and I do realize that the enemy is practically chasing my team here, so I'm just gonna go over and help them real quick and skip my next buff. I'm level 14, so I don't really need to farm too much here. I can just slow farm and help my teammates in terms of these random skirmishes because I will practically hit level 15 by the time Zapdos spawn 100% of the time at this point in the game. So now, we can give these buffs to the teammates or just take it ourselves to get level 15 faster. Level 15 on Cinderace is one of the most important things in the entire game, so you don't have to be a nice guy to give up buffs if you are heading to level 15, simply get that first because essentially that will increase your win rate of winning Zapdos and winning the game. Now that we're level 15, we have our Unite up. We want to save our Unite here and we don't want to get into too many random skirmishes that will force us to either be in a position to die or force us to use our Unite. Here's a pretty quick kill. My teammates are very strong and they're already grouped for the objective. As you can see, we are level 15 now. Our damage is pretty insane. Managed to pick up every single kill. Decided to let the Wiggly run away because I have 2 options in this situation. One, I can chase the Wiggly for a quick kill, but that won't amount to anything as opposed to getting the Dreadnought, which gives experience to the rest of my teammates and they can get more levels. Enemy play really aggressive here. Once again, they don't realize that we are level 15. Here you see that I hit 2-man Powerball. Cinderace is level 11. He simply does not have a chance to win at all. I would say 80 to 90% of your games you can get level 14 on Cinderace, but level 15 is when you do extremely well, like in this game where you get multiple Dreadnought and multiple kills, multiple scores. The enemy team has all died. We just cleaned them up on the bot side, so we're just simply going to use our Unite here and pick up the Zapdos real quickly. Do not hesitate to do Zapdos on Cinderace or even Dreadnought. Like I said before, Cinderace's clear ability on objective is extremely fast. If you start it, you can clear it real quickly before the enemy team even has a chance to contest. Here we pretty much already won the game. Enemy is gonna surrender. Do take note that we did not die one time on Cinderace this game. When you're playing Cinderace and you don't die, essentially you're always on the map doing objectives, clearing camps, and getting extremely strong for Zapdos. That's pretty much it for the Cinderace game. Hopefully you enjoy it and let's move on to the next game. Alright, so this game we're going to be playing Cinderace in the bottom lane. Once again, just start your Ember and simply go bottom with your teammates to clear as much monkeys as possible. Here we have 3 bottom, but it's okay, even if it's 2 bottom, you can still go bottom with Cinderace. As soon as I clear the monkeys, I don't contest for the middle Aldino because I can simply run over and steal the enemy Aldino instead. Do note I have the Muscle Band and Scoplins which will help me clear this Aldino fairly quickly. Here I see that the enemy is playing aggressive, so I'm just gonna run up and do damage to them and potentially get multiple kills here. We managed to get 2 kills and a quick score that will help us reach our first power spike. When you're playing in the bot lane, essentially you want to just play towards your power spike, and your first power spike is at level 5. That's when you get your first evolution and become stronger due to the base stats that it gives. Here I decided to let my Ninetales evolve first before taking the Aldinos, and the Sylveon as well. I will also give it to the Sylveon so he can evolve to at level 4. Now we just contest for the bees. Unfortunately, we didn't get too many bees just because the enemy jungler was here. But that's okay, we managed to pick up some kills along the way. Now, once again, like I said, you want to reach your power spike as soon as possible, which is a level 5. Now we will do a lot more damage, which means clearing will become a lot easier. And once you hit level 5, you don't really get any ability upgrade, but you get a lot of stats, meaning your auto attack will hit a lot more. And now we just simply play for level 7 so we can unlock our Pyro Ball. Once you unlock your Pyro Ball at level 7, you are practically a complete Pokemon, and essentially that will unlock a huge power spike for Cinderace. You can do a lot more damage, help do objectives very quickly as well. So whether you're jungling or you're laning in any lane, just know that once you hit level 7, that's when you want to be when the objectives spawn. Unfortunately, my teammates play a bit too aggressive here, and we end up dying because we got focused down first, but it's not a big deal because we can simply run back bottom and get the Dreadnought on spawn. Now we're level 6, we are fairly close to level 7. Here I use my eject button to kill the enemy jungler who is extremely high level. Notice the amount of experience we got. Now that will put us very close to level 7. And now we got level 7, we are pretty much ready for the Dreadnought fight. Remember what I said before, at level 7, Cinderace is one of the strongest Pokemon in terms of killing the objective. Now we're just gonna start the objective. Even though we are low in HP, we killed some of the enemy, meaning they won't be bothering with us right now, and it's just free to take. And we managed to kill it very quickly, and now you just pretty much play the same way as you would do if you're jungling. Here you can either stay here and grab the goal, or you can go back and potentially get some buffs if your jungler is not doing it. Unfortunately, once again, the enemy focused us first and we end up dying here, but it's not really a big deal because we end up cleaning up the enemy and we got to score bottom to break the goal. Here, like I mentioned before, just grab the buffs. Your jungler at this point doesn't really need the buff too much just because he should have his Unite move, and you can potentially just farm and try to get your Unite move so you can get a bigger spike. Just remember that when you're laning with Cinderace, you will be running on a lower experience than otherwise compared to the jungle, so you should always be constantly farming and not be running around too often and trying to get kills instead, because farming will give you much more consistent amounts of experience. It was a free kill, and I think we killed the Snorlax here because he's level 6, dodged the Spirit Shackle from the Cinderace. Unfortunately, he used these eject, so we didn't manage to hit our Unite, but that's okay because, like I said, we're level 10 and they're level 6 just because of how hard we won the early game. Now we get a quick score down and pretty much just snowballing our lead. Here I'm using all my free time to wait for the next objective spawn to just grab whatever camp I can. Essentially, don't be running around too much, always look for the yellow circle on the minimap and just continues to farm. Here I see that the two enemy team is running away, so I'm just gonna go in and grab the quick kill on the Zero Aura. I would have gotten the kill on the Cinderace as well, but unfortunately my Fireball just barely missed, so we ended up just backing out here. Very close to dying, but we're not really in much of a threat in that situation just because, like I said, we already killed two of the enemies. So now we just want to farm and get strong for this Dreadnought spawn here. And we end up getting it, but I could have gotten it with the Pyro Ball if I was a little bit quicker as well. Giving up the Rotom top lane is not that big of a deal right now because we are winning heavily in terms of experience, so the little point that the enemy gets top lane doesn't amount to much, especially since they're not really pushing as a team. Now once again, I went top lane to get a free kill on the Sylveon exactly the same way that I did for the Zero Aura. and we get some Fwii Bees. Notice that I'm level 12 right now. I have a really strong window to get level 13. So when you're laning on Cinderace, if you can get to level 13 by Zapdos spawn, then you are doing a very good job. If you can get to level 14, however, you're doing pretty much an excellent job. Here was a little bit tricky situation. We end up getting the Unite off. Here is a free Unite, okay? At the 330 mark, you can use your Unite for free because you will be able to get it back for Zapdos. If I save the Unite here, essentially, I will have to save it all the way until the 2-minute mark. But if I use it here, I can retry it again and use it at the 2-minute mark, essentially making this Unite a free usage. Unfortunately, we were not able to get the triple kill just because the enemy Sylveon has Mystic Fire, and you cannot outplay Mystic Fire just because it's an auto-lock ability. There's not much we can do about that. Unfortunately for the Sylveon, played too aggressive, tried to go for the score when we had Jump Pad available, and she was heavily punished for her mistake. Now my goal is to just get level 13, like I said. Lane Cinderace, you can get level 13 pretty comfortably, but if you're playing in the jungle, you can get level 14, level 15, pretty much on demand every single game. Now that we're level 13, we are as strong as we can be. Enemies playing top side here. Once again, I see that they're overextending, so I'm just gonna try and go in, look for some kills. They grouped up almost perfectly here for our Pyro Ball. The enemy used the Snorlax Unite, so he won't have it for the Zapdos fight, which is great for us. And we managed to pick up a kill as well. Here we try to go for the Rotom extremely quickly, but I think if the Presto reacted and helped us a little bit, we would have been able to get it. Pick up a quick kill on the Cinderace. Unfortunately, I did not see the Sylveon. I should have dashed backwards instead. That was a misclick for sure, but it's okay because we did kill the enemy's carries, meaning my teammate can just stall for a little bit until we spawn, and then we can fight for the Zapdos. Now that we have our Unite, we are pretty much prime in shape for Zapdos. Just go there as soon as you can and just help your team. We win the fight, we get the Zapdos, and if the enemy tries to start the Zapdos, we can potentially still kill it with the Unite. Okay, I'm just gonna pop a Unite, get it on 2 people, and just kill the Cinderace once again. Now we just clean up the rest of the kill and just start the Zapdos here. Even though only 3 enemy is dead, do note that Cinderace does Zapdos extremely quickly, especially when your teammates are around. So do not hesitate to do Zapdos whenever you can. If there's 3 or 4 enemies dead, just start it immediately. There's a really high chance you'll be able to just melt the Zapdos before the enemy even has a chance to react. So there you go, that's the Cinderace lane. Just understand to play for your power spike, and then use your free time wisely and try to farm level 13 for Zapdos, and you should be good every single game when you're playing Cinderace in lane. Here we end up getting 12 kills and 11 assists, not too bad. Alright, so that will be the end of the game for lane Cinderace. Alright, that will be the end of the guide. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, then please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. I will continue to make more guides like this, so subscribe for future content. Bye for now.